It is actually in standard Arabic rather than in Egyptian colloquial. It is a very much more powerful, which carries
what
more
does
power,
it say exactly?
more formal, more formality, more force, more power. All the other ones saying Mubarak to leave, so now we will not.
Again, I'm not making myself.
To leave.
I'm not. Defending the government or the regime or anything, but shouldn't these protesters lower their expectations just a little bit, given all the concessions that the government has made in the last 2 weeks? Couldn't they just meet them halfway somewhere so that we could come out of this crisis?
This could have taken place if there was a confidence. Does the protesters have any confidence in the regime? The protesters have lost any confidence in the regime. The whole Egyptian nation has lost confidence in that regime. That regime has been lying and lying, has been really oppressing the Egyptians for very long, and they've been saying things and doing different things. That's why there is no confidence in that regime whatsoever. That is why all of these things, like this declaration of Omar Suleiman, that there are 3 decrees now, they are all empty talk. They are all maneuvers to
buy
really
time. You think what's the strategy here? Are they trying to buy time? But buy time for what? Until September?
For what you mentioned earlier, that they are counting on the fatigue of the demonstrators, and they will go away. They are in a state of denial. You can see their media. The media is trying to tell people nothing is happening. They are going to go away. If not today, it is tomorrow, the day after. What the Egyptian nation is saying to them is the opposite. It is actually increasing. It is not going to go away. It is going to grow. It is going to get more aggressive, and it could get more ugly. So if he does not really heed the call of the nation to leave, and then after that, because this is step number 1 in the dismantling of the regime, to the fall of the establishment of the whole regime, is a demand from the very beginning. So this is nothing new. One of the wonderful things about this, it has been consistent. It had its own slogan, very simple, that the whole Egyptian nation could understand and could either join in or not join in.
But
what we are seeing are more people joining in.
But this is a movement that 15 days on, almost 3 weeks on now, still doesn't have a clear leader. How effective really can this movement be in the long run without anyone leading it, without anyone being at the helm?
It has many different leaders. In fact, it is very telling that a movement against a despot, against a tyrant who has already put all the power in his hand, is a collective and popular movement. It wants us to offer the counter model, the model of the people, the model of democracy, the model of so many voices, but they are all meet on this one demand, or in the second demand, or the third demand, a step at a time. So they are offering actually a counter model. The collective model, the model of the people, the model of democracy.
Do you think this is likely to have more effects than if they were led by an opposition or one man?
Because we don't want to change one despot by another, or one tyrant by another tyrant. We wanted actually to dispose of the tyrant and create a democracy.
But eventually, when they get what they want,
democracy is like that.
But when they get what they want, which is Mubarak to step down, they will need someone to take over. Who could that be?
Not necessarily one person. They would need a committee. And Egypt has a whole history in demonstrations of that nature in 1946, in 1919, in many other events. They always form a collective leadership. What they need actually is a collective leadership, and they have been. Some people have been.
Who could be part of this collective leadership? There are a lot of names floating around. Of course, Amir Musa
have been offered.
The IEA chief and so on.
Yes,
who do you think could be part of this collective leadership?
There are so many people. Egypt is full actually people, and one thing I wanted to see in that committee, because so many people either volunteered or positing themselves, or other opportunists, or some people who have been in every regime wanted to still jump on the new regime and so on. But what I wanted to see in the new collective leadership is a very strong representation of the young people, of those people who actually executed this demonstrations and this revolution.
Thank you very much, Sabri Hafez, for your insight there. Let's get an update from Tahrir Square, Liberation Square in Cairo. Hoda Abdelhamid joins us now. Hoda, what have you been seeing? What have you been hearing in the last few minutes?
well, again, a continuous call for the regime to fall. And I have to tell you, I'm still looking across the bridge, and the queues of people pouring into Liberation Square is just as thick and as big as it was a couple of hours ago. There is no letting down in the amount of people coming here. I think there's also the anticipation that Wael Ghanem, the Google executive that was released last night, is going to make his way here to Tahrir Square and speak to the crowd. And I think after yesterday, when he spoke to an Egyptian channel in a very emotional way, I think just him telling about his experience really rallied a lot of people to come here into Liberation Square.
So Wael Ghanem could be the leader, perhaps, of this movement. It'll be interesting to see if that happens or not. Hoda, what is the plan then for the next few days as far as these protests go on? This, of course, today was another million-man march. What are the protesters planning in the days ahead?
Well, there is another million-man march planned for next Friday. And I think the protesters also want to make sure that all those who died and who were injured in the first week of the protest are not going to be forgotten. Already today, you have all these huge posters showing very graphic pictures of some of the people who died in those clashes. And from what I'm hearing, they're trying to organize some sort of memorial that will remind the people that a lot of blood has been let in what they call the new revolution, and they would like that to be remembered. They are very worried that what happens here on Liberation Square remains a serious pro-democracy movement making legitimate demands, and it doesn't turn in some sort of festival where anyone who wants to spend some time comes and spends a few hours walking around. So this is something on the mind of the organizers. They want to make sure, and then they're looking at the political side of things.
Okay, thank you very much, Hoda Abdelhamid, for updating us with the latest from Tahrir Square, Liberation Square in Cairo, where again thousands have taken to the streets this Tuesday. All right, let's take a look at other news now. And a Chechen rebel leader says he was responsible for last month's suicide bombing at Russia's busiest airport. For more on that story, let's cross over to Felicity Barr in our European News Centre. Felicity.
Polly, thanks for that. Yes, Doku Umarov has now claimed responsibility for January's suicide bomb attack at Moscow's Domodedovo airport that killed 36 people. The Chechen separatist has also promised what he called a year of blood and tears until Russia's Caucasus region becomes an independent emirate governed by Sharia law. Well, Umarov is considered the leader of the Islamist insurgency in the North Caucasus. It's claimed he ordered the suicide bomb attack on Moscow's metro in March 2010 that killed 39 people. Russian security forces believe he also had a role in the 2004 school siege in Beslan that left 300 dead. And between 1996 and 1999, he became Chechny's security minister during its short-lived independence. From Moscow, Niamh Barker reports.
This is the mastermind behind the deadly attack at the country's busiest airport. Doku Umarov is the nearest thing to a leader across the North Caucasus' many insurgent groups and the Kremlin's enemy number one.
This special operation was carried out by my orders. These kind of special operations will be carried out in the future. There are hundreds of brothers among us who are ready to sacrifice themselves.
This is the moment the attack happened in the international arrivals hall of Domodedovo Airport. 36 people, Russian and foreign citizens, were killed. Officials have identified a 20-year-old from the North Caucasus as the bomber. In another video last week, Umarov vowed a year of blood and tears. The man sitting on the right of the screen is believed to have been the Domodedovo suicide bomber. Nobody knows how many fighters Umarov commands, but it's thought to be near 1,000. Many are hiding out in the mountains and forests of Dagestan, Chechnya and Ingushetia. Umarov and his followers say they'll stop at nothing to secure an independent Islamic state across the North Caucasus. The Kremlin, though, say that they will eliminate the insurgents. The cycle of violence is set to continue. Niamh Barker, Al Jazeera, Moscow.
And in fact, Niamh can join us live now from Moscow. So Niamh, as I gather, there's been no official response from the Kremlin. Why not?
Yes, that's right, Felicity. No official response from the Kremlin, nor do we expect there to be. The last word that we had from the authorities is that they would not comment on Umarov's claims of responsibility. That does appear to be state policy on these kind of statements made by so-called terrorists.